bad in that second half. We just really didn't have an answer. Couldn't keep them off the glass. Couldn't get stops, and we struggled to score against what I think is a very good defensive basketball team. So, I think they did. It was a great half of basketball by Tarleton State. If I'd been up in the stands, I would have really enjoyed watching it. So, I thought they played really well, and I thought took us out of what we wanted to do and made it very, very difficult for us to operate offensively. And then they're just, when we gave up just too many offensive rebounds. I thought our initial defense at times was good, but when you give a team like that second chances, you got to play defense another 35 seconds, and that just wears you out over the course of a game. So very disappointing. Very disappointing for our seniors. Very disappointing for our team. We will see what happens.
They talked a little bit about the similarities between you two teams. Do you agree with them?
Well, I might be hard pressed to make that case at this point in time, but I think what we try to do is very similar. They did it much better than we did in the second half, for sure. And even that first half, we block out on an offensive rebound. We'd probably go in. Instead, we give them a 3-point play. We block out. We probably go in tied up, and who knows? But they're a very good basketball team. If somebody compares us to them, I'd be very pleased with that comparison.
You've played a number of times over the years. Have you seen them play any better defense than they played that last 20 minutes? Granted, you're out without your leading scorer, but just the way they played that last half.
I'm way too old and have been doing this way too long to try to make any comparisons with any team. That was good defense on their part. They're a very good defensive team, and my feeling about them is that they've always been that way. So I don't know if I'd say, hey, they played well defensively in the second half. We had a very difficult time getting open looks, and then when we did, it puts so much pressure on you to knock them down and to hit them, and we just weren't able to do that tonight. You look, our 3-point percentage was, and we know we're not a very good 3-point shooting team, and don't want to take a bunch of them, but they did a very good job of forcing us into that, especially late in the shot clock.
You guys did a good job in the first half. Held them 34% shooting in the first half.
We did.
Yeah. And then the second half, they shot 64%. What happened to the difference there?
I think it goes back to offensive rebounds, and I think when you get offensive rebounds, you turn a tough shot into a layup, especially with the interior kids that they have that they're running out there at us. So, but heck, they're pretty good. I thought Word got loose on us in the second half and hit some open threes. And when you're so concerned about somebody's interior game that you're cheating in and preparing to go seal, it gives their perimeter people open looks, and they took full advantage of those.
Mason, David, can you guys touch on, just from an offensive standpoint, how much pressure you feel is against a defensive team like that? How much pressure you feel offensively to try to get back into a ball game when they're kind of pulling away from you?
Like Coach said, they're a really good defensive team. It was tough. They were there when we came off the screen. They played our screens really well in our initial offense, and when they're pulling away, it's one of those things where you have an opportunity to score, you have to knock down the shot, or you have to capitalize on the opportunities, and I just don't feel like we were able to do that tonight, unfortunately.
Our offense, we're trying to get in the paint, and they're so good defensively. You get it there, and there's always somebody there. And when we got it in and out, we just couldn't knock down the open shots. Their defense, they just seemed like they were everywhere.
You guys had that long drought early in the game, and then did you feel pretty good at half? I know you didn't like the block out at the end, but at least you're back in it at that point?
I did. Yeah, I felt like
you'd answered.
Yeah, I felt with down 3 after having the drought we had early, I didn't think was all that terrible. And knowing that if we'd hit a free throw, we didn't hit our free throws either, or had a perimeter shot drop, then anything could happen. I think we got off to clearly a very bad start. I thought Tarleton did the same thing to Kingsville in the opening round, and they did it to us too. We got off to a bad start. We forced the basketball a couple times and got a turnover that they converted on the other end. They're not only do they play very good defensively, they are extremely efficient with the basketball, extremely efficient, and that's the thing that breaks an opponent down over the course of the ball game. In my opinion, that you know, they run their stuff really well, and you know, tonight when their stuff broke down, they hit some big shots.
Can you guys, players, talk on how physical it was out there? I mean, is it?
Well, Tarleton State, you know, coming in every game that it's a battle, that they're going to bang you, and that it's going to be a war every time you play them. So we expected that coming in, but that's just the way they play defensively, and it worked for them tonight. It's been working for them all season.
Yeah. I'd have to agree. I mean, we knew that it was going to be a physical game. We knew it was going to be a slugfest, and we knew that we were going to have to try to keep them off the boards, and that was one of our objectives going into the game, and that's just something that we weren't able to accomplish.
Coach, can you talk about just the experience here in Allen this week?
I think it's been fabulous. I think the people here have been great. I think it's well organized, well run. I think it's something as a conference we should be pretty excited about. I think it's been a fantastic experience for our athletes. And at the end of the day, that's what we're really trying to do, is give these kids a good experience. I'm certain if you ask them, and I mean, I've done this a long time. And tonight didn't feel very good, but it's been a good experience overall because of the organization and the professionalism of the people that are running it. So it's been a fun deal. Sorry to go home.